Democrats. Today is Thursday, April 28th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Thursday. As I watched portions of the funeral for the memorial service for Madeleine Albright, I was struck by one of her quotes, and I want to read her quote to you because I think it's important um, to us here in Oklahoma. Looks like my internet is hinky. This is Madeleine Albright's quote. The reason I made women's issues central to American foreign policy was not because I was a feminist, but because we know that societies are more stable if women are politically and economically empowered. So she was talking international, she was talking foreign. I want to bring it back and talk Oklahoma. This April, OSU Spears School of Business released a study on the status of women in Oklahoma. So let's start with the good news. Women have higher levels of educational attainment than men in the state of Oklahoma. Although both men and women have less educational attainment than the nation as a whole, on average, women have a higher level of education in the state of Oklahoma. Interesting. This is a thing that interests me. Education is the most common bachelor's degree for women in Oklahoma. More than 25% of women over the age of 25 have bachelor's degrees in education in Oklahoma. So you think about education is what uh, is the degree that most women have, and right now in our state legislature is attacking education at every turn. Um, this is yet another example of our legislature not being focused on what improves the lives of Oklahomans. But overall, women work in the following industries: sales, office, education, food services, and personal care. And just listing those, you heard that those are lower paying jobs than STEM jobs. And those are the jobs that are employing women in the state of Oklahoma. And women participate in the workforce at a rate of 56%, which is less than they did 2 years ago. But it's still more than half of women over the age of 18 are participating in the workforce. And our gender pay gap is greater in Oklahoma than it is in the nation as a whole on average. Women, on average, and we know that there are differences for ages, education level, and race, but on average, women make 74 cents on the dollar to a man in Oklahoma. The national average is 80 cents to the dollar. We're at 74. We're not okay, guys. If women being gainfully employed, um, women having uh, good outcomes is what makes a society normalized, we're in trouble. Uh, Women in Oklahoma are in jobs that pay the less money, pay the least amount of money. Um, oh, I forgot to. There's one other thing that thought was kind of interesting. White women, 27.5% white women in Oklahoma are um, the breadwinners in their home. 19% of Black women and 17% of Hispanic women are the breadwinners in their home. Now, think about this: they make less money, but they are the breadwinners. And they make less money because of the kinds of jobs, and they make less money because of the gender pay gap. Until we take care of women in Oklahoma, our um, just us moving forward and improving the lives of Oklahomans is gonna be a problem. Now, there was a lot of information there, and I'm going to be talking about it a lot because this is a big deal. And it's an election season. I reported back in February the Wallet Hub report that said Oklahoma was the worst place to live for women. We ranked number 51 because of health outcomes, education, and financial outcomes, and political involvement. The Spears School of Business report cites so many other reports that show that Oklahoma women, this is the worst place for women. But the most shocking to me in this state. The most shocking to me is that the expense for taking care of an infant, for like daycare for an infant in Oklahoma right now, is more expensive than college tuition at a 4-year in-state college tuition at a 4-year university in this state. Childcare is more expensive than going to college in this state. And I think that all 5 of our congresspeople voted against the American Rescue Plan that had, and there was one component in the American Rescue Plan that said that wanted to cap childcare at 7% of your wages. Right now in Oklahoma, a single woman pays 40% of her wages to childcare. A couple pays 12% of their wages to childcare. Joe Biden wanted to cap childcare as expense at 7%, and our congresspeople voted against it. Now, I tell every Democrat I know not to bring up abortion, but I'm going to bring it up today. In this state, where we are in the top 5 of the most restrictive abortion laws in the nation, I keep saying if we want to end abortion or we want to minimize abortion in the state, what you have to do is you have to make that decision, the decision to carry a baby to term, an easier decision. And the way and make that work is you've got to make sure that there's access to health care. Women in Oklahoma, there are 2 states that are at the bottom of have the least amount of insured women, and Oklahoma is right there. You have to make sure that women have access to health care. You have to make sure that women can make a decent living. We haven't raised minimum wage since 2008. You have to reduce the gender pay gap so that decision is an easier decision to make. and and if the pregnancy is carried to term, make daycare freaking affordable. I mean, honestly, it costs more for daycare than for a 4-year university in-state tuition. We've got to do better, and there's a long way to do better. I've been complaining that it feels like our legislature is attacking professionals. It feels like our legislators are attacking professionals. We're attacking women. I'm not real sure where we go from here if we keep going on the track that we're going. This is why I am so proud that Oklahoma right now has 2 women running for governor. There's a choice. 2 women running for governor who will look out for women in our state. Because when you look out for women in our state, you're looking out for our state. We have 2 women. And I'm going to encourage you, as I do every day, I'm going to encourage you to pick one. Pick one and support her. Support her up to the primary, and then let's all throw our support to whoever makes it out of the primary. We need a woman in that position. And I'm proud that our side of the aisle has put up 2 women, giving you real choices of folks who will settle, who will make sure that women are taken care of in our state. Take care of women, you take care of the state. Thanks for joining me. I'll be back here tomorrow at 4:15. You guys have a great evening.